Hi guys, how are you doing? So let me ask you, what do you think to the course so far? Are you enjoying it? Maybe you think it's a bit difficult? Maybe you're finding it easy, or perhaps you're getting tired. Well, you may have noticed that so far in our project, we haven't reached realism just yet. We've already started to use Lumen, and we've started to understand the actors. We've already imported our model, started to distribute things in the scene, and we've taken a look at adding lighting, but our project isn't there just yet. But it will be, okay? Now, mainly in this module, we're going to talk about materials, which is one of the most important things when it comes to realism of a 3D project. Now, don't get me wrong, many things are important, such as good modeling, to be able to chamfer the corners of the objects, mapping correctly, lighting. Now these concepts are really important for realism. You know, making sure you've got your lighting and things are physically correct. But they're just some of the things that are important. Materials are essential. So we'll begin from now in this module to show you how important that is. As you know, because I've appeared here on the screen, that means that what's to follow is extremely important. In fact, it's fundamental. So, as we said before, close any distractions, focus in on this video and the rest of the classes here, and pay attention so that together we can develop and improve our understanding of materials and how they all work. Now, because we're going to be using Unreal Engine 5, that gives us an advantage, because as we work with materials, we're going to be seeing the differences in real time without the need to render. Okay? We'll show you live as we change the settings within the materials with no need to render, no need to wait for build times, which is really cool, okay? And we'll be able to see how well these materials contribute to the realism of our scene. All right? So, if you're ready, let's continue in the next class where we'll start to see the materials come to life in Unreal Engine 5. See you in the next class.
Cool, so let's keep going with our class about materials. Let me open a parenthesis here. If you're having any problem about performance, let's suppose Unreal 5 is running with low FPS or the performance isn't good. Well, skip this class and go to the Manage class, okay, and optimization. And after you optimize, you can get back here and you can get do the material classes, but only do that if you're with performance problems, okay, or if your FPS is low, okay, or you have some problem with your GPU, okay. But if you don't have any problem, if it's going all right, let's keep going here, okay. So let's talk now about materials. Okay, to talk about materials, let's open our level. Piano house. I'm going to open the references as well. And actually we can get started with this image here. Let me find it, because there are a few materials to create and they are more simple, I guess. I think that's the one. Okay, the 12. We're gonna use the camera 12 and this image, okay, and create the materials. Great, we are here. Let's find our camera 12. Camera 12. Let's do this. If you're using some software to add the references, it's up to you, okay. I'm using this method here because not everyone knows the other softwares to use the references and everything. So okay, let's keep going. Let me try to make it similar. Okay, yeah, great. Let's try to work like that, this way. Cool. Let's get started creating this material, this Chrome material. We're gonna get started creating simple materials, and after we're gonna make these materials more sophisticated, okay? Let me bring here the focus here. It's better. Yeah, that's it. It's better. Yeah, cool. Let me put the FPS here or not. Cool. Nice. So let's create the materials. Control plus space. Let's go to the folder materials. Let's create a folder, a new folder. So we're gonna be more organized, and we're gonna replace the materials. We're not gonna use the materials that came from 3ds Max. Maybe some textures, but materials we're gonna create from the zero, from the beginning. Okay. Let's do it again. Okay. Let me see. I can click with the right button, material, or I can add a material. Okay. So it's gonna add in the folder. Let's call it this material. Let's delete this and let's put in the paste material. Right button, new folder, materials. Let's get inside this folder, right button or add materials. Let's call then m underline metal simple. Okay, this is a simple metal and we're gonna make a sophisticated metal. So let's get started with this simple metal. Metal underline simple. Yeah. Let's get started with this material. Look at this. You saw that I put the M. Okay, Unreal has a default for the names. For example, you noticed that when we created blocks in assets, we used SM static mesh, which means static mesh underline and the name of the object. So all the time that we see SM, we know that it's a static mesh. And all the time we see M, we understand it's a metal, okay? So there is a convention inside Unreal for the names of the things, okay? SM static mesh. Materials, I'm gonna use M, capital M, okay? If I take this file and send to another person to keep the job, to keep going, he will understand that M is a material. If I only has a M, I know it's a material master. It's a master material, which means that it's the mother of the materials related to them. You will see in this material class that we will create an instance, okay? And we will talk about it, and it's gonna be MI, which means material instance. What is that? Well, instance of material, it's like a material that came from master that doesn't have some calculation that is being done here. It's a lighter material for Unreal to process. The same way we have instance in the geometries, like when I create an instantiated copy, I'm going to use less resources of my GPU to calculate this geometry, and with the materials that works in the same way. If I create a material that is instanced, for example, right button, materials instance, I'm going to create materials that are going to be lighter to process, and that's going to be easier to configure. You're going to realize that create materials in Unreal is a little bit different than to create materials in 3ds Max. Because in Max, we basically have the cover of this material. For example, in Diffuse, we have the little box to add textures of Diffuse. In Opacity, we have a little box to add opacity. In Unreal, we have to build this box. It's like we have to build the material, the skin, the interface, the parameters since the beginning, you know? So Max, they have these things to help us, but Unreal doesn't have. So here in Unreal, we have to create the little boxes and the places and the parameters that I'm going to use, and where we're gonna have these parameters. So we create this material since the beginning, okay? And where to put the parameters, okay? Cool. And where do we create this? We create on master. This way, master will be a material where we're gonna create the structure of the material, and the instance will be the material where we're gonna add the values. It's like here I create this structure of the material in Max, and here I add the textures, the values, the rangers. Okay, so you're gonna realize that it is more invited to control the parameters in instance, and it's more complicated to put the parameters in Max. Okay, it's lighter to use the materials that are instanced so that Unreal can process. Your GPU is gonna do that better. However, you need master to create these parameters. So we're gonna call this material of M, because we already know that it's the master. So we already understood that in master, we're gonna create the parameters, add the regulations, the slots, okay? So this is the master, the mother that was created since the beginning, okay? And in the MI, the instance of the material, is where I'm going to type the parameters, the textures, using this nomenclature. It's going to be easier for you and for other artists to keep going with the project, because we'll know that, oh, okay, this is the instance of the material, so I'm going to add the parameters, the textures, okay? And if I need more features, the master is here. So M for master and MI for material instance. Let's delete this for a while and we're gonna get back here after. Let's create our master, okay? Cool. Let me maximize. All right. Let me expand this. Okay, cool. So what do I have here? I have a panel for the creation of materials. Basically, it's another software inside Unreal. You can open asset, save all. You can do a lot of things here. You can edit. You can add a window or take it off. You have tools, okay, as in Unreal. So up here you have the main menu. Down here you have the tabs of the materials that you're gonna create, okay, as in Google Chrome and as in the levels that we saw. You have some more buttons here, how to save, how to access some things. All right, we're gonna talk about then in the during the process, okay? Here you can adjust and modify how you see your material. For example, we are seeing as a perspective. We can see from another view. Or for example, like delete or without sun, or like this. You know, you can choose the way that you want to see this. For example, the background, the statics. It's cool because this way I will identify if there is an error, okay, if there is something that is not working well, if the process of the creation of this material are too long. Okay, so working with Unreal Engine, it is thinking about engine of games. You have to optimize everything. The less parameters that you put, the less adjustments that you do, the less slots that you have to process, more fluid is gonna be your game, your project. Because inside Unreal, everything is done with calculation. If you have a big project, it's gonna calculate the geometry, the material, master materials, the optimization, and everything. In the final, there will be a lot of calculation at the same time, and that's going to impact directly in your GPU. So we have to always think about doing things in an optimized way with less lots and a lot of things. All right. And this is a huge benefit of creating materials in Unreal. Remember in 3ds Max that we changed all the materials to standard. Why did we do that? Because if we brought here the materials like Corona, texture of these slots, here we would have a lot of parameters, okay? A lot of adjustments and everything. We're gonna talk more about it, and this would make the speed of calculation really slow, you know. So it's way better that we create a material here from the zero, from the beginning, because we're gonna create this material already optimized, okay, with less parameters, you know. And we're gonna get the same result that we would get with Corona, okay, or V-Ray. So it's interesting to leave the statistics here, okay. If we want to see like a cylindrical sphere or some other type of shapes, depending on the type of the material that you're creating, it's good to change this. Okay, I'm gonna leave like a sphere. What we have here, well, we have a main node. All material have this, okay, has this. It's like it determines the type of the material that you're gonna do. Here is where you're gonna put the parameters of your material. Based on this, you have the type of material that you want. For example, if I click here and go to the left side, we have some parameters, but we're not gonna talk about them now. But I have other parameters down here. Material, okay? Here we have, for example, material domain. We can select the type of domain. Like, is it a type of material like a surface? We have some options here, you know, opaque, or these other options here. All these options here. Volume, post-process, okay? So it's a material of the type surface. We're gonna use that a lot, all right? What is the blend mode of this material? Is it a masked material of the type masked, where I'm gonna be able to add an opacity mask, for example, where I'm gonna see black and white, where the black I see and the white is transparent? Is it a material of the type translucent, as glass, for example? And if you realize, as you change here, it activates or disables parameters, okay? For example, if you select opaque here, you can determine the base color and all these options here, like the specular, roughness, okay, the normal, that in 3ds Max would use the bump. If you change to masked, for example, you see that it keeps these parameters here, but it activates, for example, the opacity mask, all right? The black and white. We're gonna learn how to create that as well. If you change, for example, to translucent, it gives you other parameters, okay? So if it's emissive or not, okay? It's like a V-Ray material, you know? And the opacity here, in the scale of 0 until 1. 0 is black, there is no opacity, and 1 is white, like 100% opacity, okay? Some other options here, all right? If it's a additive type or some other options here. So you can select the type, the blend mode that you want, okay? Meanwhile, let's create an opaque material, okay? Because you want to build, for example, the chrome of this reference. And we know that the chrome material is a metallic material. This way, I cannot use, for example, a material of the type additive because I don't have the parameter of the metallic, all right? And roughness. So I cannot create this metallic material. I cannot, for example, create material translucent because I don't have these two options, these two parameters here, okay? The roughness and the second one, the metallic. After you're gonna see that, for example, translucent materials, after we're gonna be able to add these parameters here to adjust, okay? But basically, only the translucent material, we don't have access to these parameters here, okay? So it doesn't help you to create a material, a metallic material. The blend mode, it's interesting that we create opaque, masked, translucent, additive. Well, opaque. Opaque is it's more simple. It gives us a surface, okay? You're gonna see that I'm always going to use the surface. Like 99% of these materials, we're gonna use this surface, okay? A little bit this one, the decal and like function, a little bit, but most of the time surface, okay? So all right, we already know that we're gonna create a surface. Let's see, we're gonna use opaque because opaque, we have the base color, the color of this material, metallic or not, you know, specular, if there is a specular or not, like the level and the level of roughness, okay? So this material of opaque, of the type opaque, is enough to create a lot of different materials, okay? Specifically our metal material. The shading mode, if it's a lit, default lit, we have some options here. Or subsurface, okay? If I turn off the lights inside the material, if I can do that, clear code, we have a lot of options here, okay? Like this, to use in vegetations, if I have a grass, cloth, or eye, okay? So here you can notice that you need to tell Unreal basically everything about your material. What's the domain? Like surface or volume, you have to say that. What is the blade mode? Is it opaque, masked, translucent, modulate? So you have to say that to Unreal, okay? Because these parameters are enough for us. Okay, so how is the model of this shading? Is it closed, hair, eye, you know? No, it's the default lit, okay? Yeah, the default. it always going to be like that for you, okay? You will only change it if you want to create another type of material, of shade. Okay, so how is this material? How do you want this to be created? In one side or two-sided? Outside and inside. This material is going to be seen just from the out part, or for the normal. In this case, for example, this material we just see from the outside. It's different from a vegetation, okay? That we have to see in both sides. So in our side, we don't need that. Use material attributes. We're not gonna use it because it's a little more complicated, okay? We're gonna talk about it after, okay? In some other class. Mainly when we work with this guy here, okay? World position offset. When we, for example, work on our material, the wind movement, okay? This one, cast height traced shadows. Yeah, by default, yeah. And you have a lot of different options here, okay? And all of them that are configured by default are cool. You don't need to change anything here. Only if you have to create a specific thing, a really specific thing. But these parameters here are okay. Maybe during the process of this course, we can use something here, maybe. But basically, what we have here until here, it's enough, okay, to create materials, really realistic materials. So let's review this. I want to create a material. You will see that it's not hard, okay? Control plus space. I want to create a material. Add material here, right button, materials. What's the name? It's a master, right? It's the first material that I'm creating. Right button, material, master, aim, underline, metal, simple. It's the master. Access this. I'm here. What do I have to do? Select this, my node. All right. That is where I'm gonna add the nodes, the parameters, and define the type of material, like a surface or like function, or all of these options here. What is the blend mode? Opaque or translucent, or all of this, okay? How is the shade of this module? Default or like all of this? You have all these options here, as you already know, okay? This material, I want to see the two sides, like the outside or inside, or just one side. Okay, you can choose it. All right, so this is the first step to create the material. So I'm gonna finish this class so that it's not gonna be that long, and we're gonna get back here, okay? So yeah, see you. Okay, cool. We defined it. How is our material? If it's a surface and opaque, okay. Default lit, and it's a material with one side, okay. Let's store the ray tracing, okay. Default, that's gonna be default, okay. How can I get started to put the parameters to adjust? Well, this is the result of a lot of things that we will have here, okay. This is the type of result that a lot of others that we're going to create. For example, I can click here and I can drag it like this, and I can choose the type of node, the parameter, okay, that I can add, that I want to add. How can I add the base color, for example, a parameter? How can I choose the type of the base color? Well, you click and hold and drag. Okay, you can do this. All right, and then it's going to ask, what do you want to put here? I can put nodes of the type atmosphere, blends, of the type color, of this type. We have a lot of different types here. Okay. So what type of nodes do you want to put? So, okay, Unreal understands colors and numbers like constant. Okay, constants. When you type this, you can see these other options here. So Unreal understands that to you to select a number there in your material that is instanced, you're going to put a constant. Okay, how is it? How is it like? I mean, this parameter that we're gonna put there in your material. Is it going to be with numbers, with colors? Will it be ranged from 0 to 1? Will it go beyond to these numbers? Is it going to be the type of texture? Well, if I want to create parameters where I choose range of 0 to 1, I always need to use constant. What type of constant? Well, if I want numbers from 0 to 1, I need a constant of a vector. Look at this. If I want to use colors, for example, we click and drag, we type cons, or we can try to find here constants. You see that it's harder to find that, so it's better if you type it. Or a constant of 2 vectors. I have 1.2, 1.5, 7.3, 25.8, or a constant of 3 vectors, for example. That is the one that I could adjust colors. I have constants of 3 vectors. For example, R, G, and B. When I have constant of a vector, I have black and white. When I have a constant of 3 vectors, I have R, G, and B, for example. I can select this constant and I can change the values of this constant here, okay? If I have, for example, a constant of 1 vector, I can select this constant and I can change the value of this constant, okay? Okay, so here in value. All right, okay, so that's it. What is good to create our material? Well, have the option of putting a color on this material. If it's a golden material, if it's a white material, a dark material, a white chrome material, a rust material, a brown material. Let's put a constant here of 3 vectors, okay? Because I want to have the option of changing the color of the object. For example, I want to put red. I can put red, or I have to put it here. Okay, the saturation and the value as well. Okay, it's a red. It can be darker or more lighter. Okay, so I can change it. Okay, like this, more darker, or a little like this. Or it's a little like this, a green. Okay, so yeah, we know that to create a metal, it's good if I have the option of choosing the color. Click and drag it, constant of 3 vectors, or click and drag it, constant of 3 vectors. Okay, great. I want to adjust the color of my material. Is it chrome? Unlike Blu-ray, in Unreal, not all the materials are physically correct. For example, let's choose the color of this material here in base color and not in the reflection, okay? So here I want to choose the color of my metal. Let's suppose it's chrome, so it has this shade here. Okay, it's more white here. Okay, cool. As you can see, my material is white now. Oh, it's metallic or not. Okay, click, hold, and drag it. All right, I choose here the type of node that I want to put here, like parameters. For example, like color, constant. I have all these parameters here, all these type of parameters here. Okay. Let me see what else. This density, depth. All right. We have to keep in mind that inside the Unreal Engine and inside the master material, we are creating the skeleton of this material. So I'm gonna tell Unreal if this material is metallic or not. Things in computer are calculated in binary form. The process are making a binary form, 0 and 1. 0, I don't have anything, and in 1, I have something. In Unreal, it's the same thing. Things are binary. For example, if I want to tell that this material is metallic, I need to type 1. If I type 0, it's false. If I take a constant of one vector, I have a range of 1. Look, these parameters here between 0 and 1. I'm telling Unreal, for example, that or this material, this node, or it's true, metallic, or it's not, okay, false. Did you get it? So let's suppose I want to tell that the material is or is not. If it has or it doesn't have, I'm going to add a constant of a vector, for example, in a simple form between being or not being, where 0 is false, there is nothing, and 1, it's true, okay? And then I have this range between them, a little metallic, a little more metallic, or 100% metallic, okay? But then it's not metallic. It is metallic already, because I already put 1 here. It's true, but we have to adjust how much this material is roughness or not, okay? Because I said it was metallic because I typed 1, or I typed 0, it's not metal. It's not metal anymore. It's like, for example, a plastic. If this material, this plastic material, because it's 0, it's not metallic, if it's roughness or not. So let's type, for example, click and drag. Let's type constant of a vector, for example, 0x. If it's roughness, you put a constant of a vector here in roughness. So tell me, 0 is 100% not roughness. Okay, I don't have any roughness. 1, I have 100% of roughness. Okay, for example, 0 here, where it's polished, okay, and 1, it's roughness. It's not polished, okay? But I have 0.5, okay? That is half polished and half roughness. Let's decrease 0.3, 0.2, 0.1, okay? More polished, as you can see. You see? Okay, so putting a constant of a vector here, I can tell if this material in the field of roughness is polished or not. If yes, how much is polished? Okay, the range. And you can put the value here. Okay? Like this, like this. All right? For example, I want a black plastic. I'm going to change the color here. Here. Okay? Black. Darker. Okay? And yeah, it's a plastic because metallic is 0. All right? It's not metallic. And how much its roughness? You can put the values here. Okay? For example, 0.1. Okay, cool. Nice. And another parameter that we can add to the material, in this case, like plastic or metal, is the specular. That is the amount of light that this material is going to emit. I click and drag it, and I find a constant here. All right. How much specular this material is going to reflect? Nothing. 100%. Look at this. A little bit, like half, almost anything. You can choose a value here. Can you notice this? All right. So this way, the structure of your material, of what's gonna appear in the instantiated material, you can tell to this material the parameters. Okay, like how it's gonna be the base color, if it's metallic or not, the specular, the roughness. Okay, you have all of this. All right. For parameters between 0 and 1, I use a constant of 1 vector. For parameters of color, I use a constant of 3 vectors. I'm going to apply it. Okay. All right, we did it. Now let's take this material that we created now, for example, there to our metal, our scene. That is where we want to work. How can I take this material there? I'm going to press here, Control plus space, all right, to access my content area. Or let's Windows, content browser. Okay, it's here. It's fixed here. Control plus space. All right. Okay, so look our material here. It's black, as you can see. I'm gonna select this, and I can drag it. All right. Or I'm gonna put the material here. Well, I'm gonna select my object. Look. And the details here, I select in which ID I want to add the material. Okay, let's select the chrome. Okay, there is just one material. We just applied one material. So select this. I can try to find my material clicking here. Okay, and I can try to find my material. It's here. I select and I apply it. Oops, wrong place. Okay, select. Let me see. Okay, select and I apply it. Okay, look, the material is here, as you can see. Or I can select my content. I can select and drag it, okay, to my slot. Or I can select and I can drag to my scene, my project. Okay, cool. So we are here with our material, black and polished, here in the scene. Okay, Control plus space to access content. I'm gonna open my material here. Look, here I can control in real time some parameters. Okay, look at this. I'm gonna leave it here. I want to change the color of the material, so I go here and I can do that right here. Okay, and apply it. Okay, it's pink because the material is painted there. I'm gonna leave it like yellow, for example. Apply. Okay, you see, I want to leave my material black. Okay, look, like this. Okay, because nothing in the world is 100% black. Okay, well, I want to tell that this material, this black material, for example, it's very polished. So I put this number here and apply it. Look, it's very polished. Remember that we have the mesh distance field. It's a very polished material, so I need to improve, for example, the mesh distance field of the object to have more definition and reflection. Let's access here. We saw this in the beginning of our course. Let's increase the mesh distance field, the scale of this. Look, the resolution. Let's put 8, for example. I think that's gonna improve a little bit, yeah. Let's do the same thing with the sync. Yeah. Let's do this. Let's put 8 and apply it. It's gonna improve. Yeah, it has improved a little. Okay, cool. And yeah, I want this material to be more roughness, 0.2 for example, and apply it. Look, it's more roughness. Then you say, where is the real time? Because I've heard that in a reel we create things and things are gonna happen in real time. Well, yes and no. When aren't we gonna have to apply a parameter? Well, when we are using a instantiated material, or if these parameters that we typed here be of the type scale, okay? Scale parameters. If they are in the common node, I cannot do the things in real time. To do things in real time, I need to modify them for constant. I mean, for example, I click on it, right button. To scale or parameter. I click on it, right button, convert to parameter. It's gonna ask a name. Let's call it base color. Without space, okay. Alright, that is where we're gonna control the base color. This second here is a metal. Right button, convert to parameter, and let's call it metallic. This next is the specular. Right button, parameter, let's call it specular. Roughness, let's click right button, convert to parameter, let's call it roughness. And let's apply it. Alright, nothing changed, but something has changed here. Now I can adjust how roughness or not this material is. I can adjust the color of this material. Look at this. in real time. All right. Let me put this window to the other monitor. All right, I'm adjusting this on the other monitor, as you can see, in real time, because now it's not a constant anymore. It was, but now it's a parameter. Look at this, how interesting this is. Let's put like a metal aspect. Let me get it back. All right. But you tell me, okay then, but wasn't it to be metal? Yes, so let's transform this. How can we do that? I tell Unreal that it's metallic. Let's type 1. It's a metallic material, but green. So let's change this. More white. Okay. Is it 100% polished? In our reference, no, it's not. It's a little rough. So let's see, roughness. Let's leave it a little more rough. Look, it's almost like an aluminum. 0.25, let's see. That's for sure it's a simple material, correct? I don't have a variation of reflection as in the reference. We will have, but not yet. Look, a material 100% metallic. Okay, a little metallic. Nothing metallic. You know, we can change it. Like 90%, 80%, 70%, 100% metallic. You can change it. Cool. The specular, the amount of light that this material is going to reflect, as it is metallic, there is no action there. If it was plastic, it would have. If it's rough or not, okay. So what we found here, that after selecting the type of the material, the doming of this material, how can I select, how can I adjust the parameters? We understood that we can adjust the parameters putting constants, okay? Nodes with values or numbers from 0 to 1, okay? That I can activate or disable colors. And constant of 1 vector is enough to give a parameter from 0 to 1, okay? Of white and black. If I want color, I add a parameter of 3 vectors so that I can work with the R, G, and B. Okay, we created constants. We can adjust the parameters of the material, but it's not in real time yet because I need to convert then to parameter, okay? As now they are already constant, I don't have the convert to parameter here anymore. I have to get it back, the constant, all right, so that I can convert to parameter. Base color here, okay? If you didn't understand this class, watch this again, okay? Because it's really interesting if you try it again and again and again so that you can understand about the constants, okay? We're not going to talk about other things yet. We need to talk more about constants. Watch this class again, the previous class, so that you can understand better about the materials, okay? What are these parameters that we adjusted here? You can watch this again, do this exercise here that we did. Try to do it with me so that you can really understand these ideas, okay? And understand that these materials are being created since the beginning, okay? Since the creation of the parameters that I'm going to put in the material to adjust, all right? I'm gonna finish this class here, and in the next class, we're gonna talk about instance of materials. I'm gonna apply it, and I'm gonna save all. Okay, see you. Cool, now let's talk about instances. You realize that it's possible to adjust the parameters here. Okay, and it's going to change there in real time. You notice that. But when we adjust the parameters here, we are adjusting in master. It's interesting if you adjust in the instance, okay? Which means that we're gonna leave the master material that was made, the structure, the skeleton of this material, and adjust the other parameters in the instance because it's lighter and more fast to Unreal to process. And actually it works better in real time. How can we do that? Control plus space to access the content here. Right button, create new material here, instance, okay? We understand that material instance is MI. We have to call it this, okay? Metal, all right, simple. Yeah, as you can see it here, you can erase a little here. And yeah, it's a metal simple. Okay, perfect. Let's leave our master material. Look, we got back to the master here. I'm gonna open this. So let's actually leave it default. Okay, all right, black, 0. Okay, the specular 0. All right, and it's 100% rough. Okay, let's apply it. So this is our master. It's the simplest material possible. Let's transform into metal. Here, you see this? The material that is instantiated. And you will see it's a little bit different from the master. Look, this is the panel details here of our material that is instantiated. Okay, look, it's a little bit different. I don't have the other parameters, the domain, the nodes, the constants here in the material instantiated, because it's just the cover of that material. Let me see it here. Level, materials. Look, the instantiated material is just the cover of all the structure, okay, of my master. So now it looks more like 3ds Max or SketchUp or Blender, where I activate or not the parameter, and I can adjust the parameter, where I can activate or not the parameter and adjust the parameter, okay? Or I can adjust or not the base color and adjust the parameter. Let's do the metal from the instantiated material. Metal, this material is metal or not? Yes. The roughness, it's a lot or it's just a little? Let's put a little bit. The color of this material is white or dark? It's white. So it's metallic, as you can see. Let's put the instantiated material into our object. Or I can select my object and I can drag it here. I can search in my content area as well. Let's open the instantiated here. Let me close the content. And actually I can maximize my screen. For example, like this. Okay. The whole screen. And now here in my instance, not anymore in the master, I can see the parameters here. I can adjust them like this. Specular, a lot or just a little? Let me put this number. The color, it's like more like a golden, for example. Look at this. Cool, right? Let's leave it white. Let's see our reference. I think it's a little more rough. Yeah, let me change it. Look, I think it's okay. We have some noises here, as you can see. But don't worry about it now. After we're gonna learn how to take it off. You can increase the screen here like this. Okay, let's see. But this template has a higher definition. It brings a little bit of noise. But don't worry, after we're gonna learn how to take it off, alright? These little noises here. We're not gonna worry about it now. So through my my instance, I can control the material. Let's create a new material. Let's apply, for example, a material here. So let's see our reference. This is more roughness and this is more polished. So let's apply a material more polished. Let me see it here. Why is it selecting the camera? What's happening? Well, Control plus space, right button, duplicate this material, this instantiated material. You can create a new instance, okay? Or you can duplicate this material, okay? Because it's going to duplicate this way here. If I click with the right button and I create the instance based on the master. If I duplicate, it's going to keep the instance. It's duplicating the instance and not the master, okay? Based how the instance is. Another Chrome, okay? It can be our material. Let me see, white. It must be here. White, yeah, maybe it's here. Control plus space. It's kind of hard to see. Windows, content browser. Materials. Look, this one. Let's apply it here. Or you can try to search this material. It's here. Or you can click and drag it. Okay, here. Oh, it has changed. It has replaced there. Let's enlarge our screen. Immersive mode. Control plus space. Double click on the material. That is the instance 02. And now I can adjust the parameters. Look, it's more polished, this material. It's metallic, yeah. Roughness. Let's see. A little bit, yeah, rough. Look at this. More or less like this. 0.05. I guess it's like this. Look at this. I'm gonna exit the camera. Okay, let's see now. Look. I think it's very rough. Actually, it's very polished. So I think it's too much. I think it's too much polished. Let's leave it a little less polished. Metallic. 0.1. Yeah, it's better. Cool. Let's apply a material in the faucet, on the faucet. A simple material. It looks like the other. No, it's very polished. So it can be the same material, maybe. I think. Let's see. Select the object, or I drag it here, like this, or I can get back here, select the object, and apply here. And I apply here. Look at this. Then you're gonna say, oh my god, Dennis, but it's not that similar. Well, don't worry about it. It's not similar yet. But after, we're gonna work on that, okay? Let's focus on the materials for now. We can actually add the material of this black here. A black plastic, maybe. Let me see. Look, our master here. It's interesting that we adjust the instances because our master doesn't change. Let's put red because black is kind of hard to see. Look, apply it. Yep. Now it's red, as you can see. I changed the master, but I didn't change the instance, okay? For the structure of the material, it's considering what is in the master. But for the aspect of the material, it is considering what is in the instance. Let's create a new instance. Right button, I can create a new instance. Or we can duplicate the instance, okay? This is the metal simple 2. Actually, I think it's a plastic. Let's call it plastic, right? Look, yeah. Double click on it. Let's adjust the parameters, okay? Let's click a black plastic. It's not metallic, okay? It's a little rough, I guess. Let's put it black. Never 100%, okay? Because nothing in real world is 100%. Here, let's bring the specular because the plastic receives and reflects the bright of the light. Or you can put between 0 or 1. Let me put 100% and let's apply it. I'm gonna drag it, okay? Let's see. Oh, it was the other one, I guess. Oh, actually, let me try this. Let's select this table, plastic. Yeah. Next element with black plastic. Let's select this. It must be this one here. Yeah, that's it. So let's go here. So our material, our instantiated material is metallic. For example, yes or no, you can change it. The roughness of this material is polished or roughness. You see? And the specular, is it reflecting a lot or not? We can adjust here, okay? And that's how you adjust. And here, as you can see, you can change it. All right. Let's take a look in a reference. Look, it's very polished. It's a plastic, very polished. So let's put 0 and 0.075, maybe. Let's see. It must be this one. Let's see. No, it's not. Maybe this one. Yeah, look at this. It's very polished. So let's change it a little bit. Look, a plastic, very polished. Okay. Here for the table, I think that this plastic, very polished, it's not that cool. It's not good because I think it's a little more rough. Let's see if we can find. Look at this. It's very polished here and it's getting a little rough maybe. Let's duplicate this instance. Let's apply in our object. Okay, let's open it and let's edit it. 0.2, it's cool. Yeah, and it's a darker material, I guess. That's for sure. We have the compensation of the exposure. After we can adjust all of this, okay? I think it's a little more rough. Let's change it. Yeah, cool. Nice. So look how interesting this is. Here, it's not a material with double side. It would be interesting if it was double side. Do you remember where you can adjust the material if it's double side or not? Master, two-sided. Okay, then I'm gonna say, oh my god, Dennis, but if I activate this, it's gonna activate for everything because all materials are instantiated. So what I change in the master, it's gonna change in the instances. Yeah, that's true. So it doesn't make sense to change in the master because if we have like 500 materials, it's gonna put two-sided for all the materials. Okay, so it's not smart, not at all. Right button, duplicate the master, this master, and let's put another color. All right, and let's apply it. Yeah, that's the second master. This second master, we can put two-sided. Okay. Let's see. Let's create an instance first. Right button, create an instance. Look, this is a material. Let's change the name. Material instance of the type plastic. Two-sided. Let's type two-sided. Okay. Look, two-sided. Let's apply this in our dome. This yellow. I select the dome. Be this one here. Yeah. All right. Let's transform in black. That black was good. So let's just copy the parameters. Let's take this. Metallic 0. Like this. Right button. Copy the color in the material, right button, paste. You see? We saw that it's not metallic. The roughness is this and the specular is this. So let's verify it. Yeah, that's it. Okay, but we have the inside because our master isn't two-sided. Let's apply the two-sided. All right, let's apply it. Look, yeah, that's it. It has closed the inside and also the outside. Okay, look, yeah, cool. So this material is two-sided. Okay, it's processing the outside and the inside. The other one is not two-sided. All right. So, okay. Here, let's see. Let's put it here. Cool. The part below. We have another part here. Let's see. Let's apply there. Okay. As you can see it here, a little rough. All right. This lamp here, it's black, so let's put it in black. All right. Actually, that little edge is in metal, I guess. Let's check that out. Let's see. I can't see that. So let's see. Yeah, I think it's a metal. It's not a very polished metal. Look at this. Okay. Let's see the polished metal. No. Okay. The lamp in the glass, we're gonna talk about it soon. Don't worry about it. Let's see what else that we can paint with these materials. We can paint this iron. I think it's black. Let's see the reference. Yeah, it's a black iron. But there are some variations. But meanwhile, let's leave it without any variation, okay? It's a black metal. Let's rename it black plastic. Okay. Let's duplicate this and let's call it metal black. Let's transform into metal. Okay, metallic, roughness, specular. It's more or less like this. Let's see. It must be this material here. It's not. I select the other object maybe. Let's see. Maybe that's the one. No, it's not. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Look. It's too dark here, so let's actually let's change the roughness here. And a little more clear here. Let's see. Yeah, that's it. Let's see if I put 0.3 or 0.4, 0.2. I think it's all right. Let's see the reference. I think it's more polished. 0.1. Yeah, that's it. I guess it's better. And less metallic, maybe 0.8, 0.9. Yeah, I think it's okay. Let's apply in the other as well. Select and apply it. Okay. Let me decrease the base color here. 0.075, I guess. I think it's okay. Yeah. Here I think it's metallic as well. Look how cool this is. Yeah, nice. What else that we can identify from here that is metallic? Let's see. Here it's a gray plastic. Let's see that. Metallic. Look. Let me see. Let's duplicate this. Select here and let's apply it. We just apply it. Okay. Look, it looks like aluminum. So it's more rough. It's not that metallic. It's not that white. It's more gray, I guess. Yeah. A little more rough. 0.6. A little more metallic. Not so a little more rough, I guess. Yeah, cool. Yeah, perfect. Let's see what else. Okay. It's a black wood in the piano. After we can do that, here it's reflecting with the looming. Looming is trying to work here. All right, I think it's okay here. Okay, cool. Now we can see the leather. Yeah, because it's a simple material, and we're going to use basically the color, reflection, and bump that is in the 3ds Max or the normal here inside Unreal. Yeah, let's create a leather material where we're gonna put a field to put a texture and also parameters to adjust the repetition of this material. Okay, so see you. I see you in the next class.